Donald Trump just wrapped up the worst week of his political career, and he decided to follow it up with the worst Monday of his political career, and that all falls squarely on the shoulders of Karoline Leavitt to try to defend. But of course she can't, because she is terrible at this job, and so when Karoline Leavitt tries and Karoline Leavitt fails, Karoline Leavitt runs away, which is exactly what she just did after getting confronted over Donald Trump's many failures, the fracturing of the GOP, and of course so much else by a Fox host no less. We are going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into Leavitt being confronted by Fox and of course running away, I want to start where she did, trying to announce some exciting news, one of the biggest lies Trump ever tells, and that's about his upcoming healthcare plan.
I know there's been a lot of reporting on this from yourself as well, Jake, over the last few days. I will tell you that healthcare is a topic of discussion that's happening very frequently and robustly inside the West Wing right now. The president's very much involved in these talks, and he's very focused on unveiling a healthcare proposal that will fix the system and will bring down costs for consumers. As for the details of those discussions, I'll let the president speak for himself. As you all know, sometimes you report things and then President Trump comes out with an announcement, and those things are not always true from what you hear from sources inside the building. So I'll let the president speak for himself.
Karoline, there has been loss after loss after loss, not just last week for Donald Trump, but today. The cases that he brought against James Comey and of course Letitia James have blown up in his face. The MAGA coalition is fracturing so badly that multiple members of Congress are threatening to resign. And you think that Donald Trump robustly discussing a healthcare plan is going to save all of that? How many weeks have we been 2 weeks away? Seriously, how many weeks has it been since we have been 2 weeks away? You're not going to save yourselves, and you're especially not going to distract us. It is beyond parody at this point that Donald Trump thinks that he deserves credit for a healthcare plan that doesn't exist, but it's not the only thing he deserves credit for, according to Karoline Leavitt, but because before she started getting asked some tough questions, she spouted off this gem.
The president remains hopeful and optimistic that a deal can be struck, and I think he deserves a great amount of credit for the extensive amount of time and energy he has put into solving this war. He wants to see the killing end. He wants this war to end, and his frustration grows out of the frustration of the American people. You know, President Trump stopped the funding of this war, but the United States is still sending or selling a big amount of weapons to NATO. We cannot do that forever, and the president wants this war to end. He is a peacetime president. That's what he's pursuing, and today he remains optimistic and hopeful, and I know our teams are working around the clock to try to get this deal to an end.
Yeah, obviously everybody watching every...
Okay, so Trump, who has done nothing to end the war in Ukraine, except say he was going to on day one and then not, and then propose Putin's plan exactly, wants credit? The man wants credit? Can you explain what he wants credit for? He hasn't done anything. But of course, that is Donald Trump. He wants credit for what he hasn't done, and he doesn't want blame for what he does do. And of course, Karoline Leavitt has to spin it all, which she tried to with, again, Donald Trump's failed cases against Comey and Letitia James.
Karoline, is the president more determined now, since the judge's ruling today, to go after James Comey and Tish James, and if so, why?
I wouldn't say he's going after them. I think the president is more determined than ever to see accountability in this country, yes, and to correct the wrongs of the weaponization of our justice system that we saw under the previous administration and Joe Biden.
He's not going after them. He instructed Pam Bondi to go after them. He couldn't have gone after them more than how he went after them. There is no spin that Karoline Leavitt can whip up to get herself out of this one. And it is really funny to watch her wheels spin as she tries. But it wasn't just that little gaggle that Karoline Leavitt had outside the White House, which we will get to her running away from. She also had a little conversation right before with a Fox host who asked her, of course, about Donald Trump's threats against our military members, and Karoline Leavitt, is she still melting down over it?
they were leaning into that experience to try and give a wink and a nod to the 1.3 million active duty service members who serve in our United States Armed Forces and essentially encourage them to defy the orders of their commander-in-chief, which is illegal, by the way. Let me be very clear. Not a single order this president or administration has given to our military has ever been illegal, nor will it ever be. This administration respects and abides by the law, and these officials know it. They are trying to sow chaos and distrust, which is a very dangerous thing to do within the military's ranks.
Democrats in Congress, veterans who have served our country, telling active duty military members to not break the law and to honor their oath is not a wink and a nod. That is an order instructing them to do their job, a job they know they have to do, and warning them of the repercussions that will come if they use the "I was just following orders" excuse, because it doesn't work. Donald Trump is breaking the law. Donald Trump is trying to wield the military for his own personal gain and to have us all believe that it serves him instead of their oath and us. And that's just not going to fly. And Karoline Leavitt freaking out that Democrats have told U.S. military members to not break the law at Donald Trump's request is a self-report. If you're mad that we're saying don't break the law if Trump tells you to, then it's clear you think Donald Trump has or will tell service members to break the law. And so with all of this in mind, all of this going on, Karoline Leavitt had no choice but to run away.
The critics should just take a step back and think about what happened with Israel and Gaza. There were a lot of doubters, and we got the hostages out, and this president secured a peace deal that still exists and is ongoing today. So everyone should just respect the work this administration is doing and watch the process unfold. Thank you.
We cancel our Thanksgiving plan, Caroline, over Ukraine.
Aw, has it been a tough day for Karoline Leavitt? Oh, so sad, can't take the heat. Oh, look, Donald Trump, he's so spectacular. He got a ceasefire done between Israel and Gaza, except he hasn't, though, because Israel continues its genocide and is indiscriminately killing Palestinians. So if that is your framework for how incredible the peace deal between Ukraine and Russia is going to be, yeah, I'm not really expecting the best out of you, Karoline, but it has been loss after loss after loss for Trump. There is nothing that he can win on, and what makes it worse is his enemies, they're laughing in his face. Just look at James Comey's response to not just Donald Trump, but of course, Karoline Leavitt as well, after his case, Donald Trump's ridiculous case, got thrown out.
I'm grateful that the court ended the case against me, which was a prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence, and a reflection of what the Department of Justice has become under Donald Trump, which is heartbreaking. But I was also inspired by the example of the career people who refused to be part of this travesty. It cost some of them their jobs, which is painful, but it preserved their integrity, which is beyond price. And I know they will serve again. I was very lucky that some of the best lawyers in America stepped forward to represent me. I hope they serve as an example to more and more lawyers, especially at some of the big firms, to participate in protecting our liberty, protecting the rule of law. And my family and friends were always with me, and luckily for me, include some of those great lawyers. This case mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because a message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies. I don't care what your politics are, you have to see that as fundamentally un-American and a threat to the rule of law that keeps all of us free. I know that Donald Trump will probably come after me again, and my attitude is going to be the same. I'm innocent, I am not afraid, and I believe in an independent federal judiciary, the gift from our founders that protects us from a would-be tyrant.
I remember the night that Donald Trump decided he was launching his attack on James Comey, and Comey did the same thing he did right there, picked up his phone, quick little Instagram video. I'm not backing down. Donald Trump will continue to come after me. I don't give a fuck. Give it your best shot. And look where we are now. Donald Trump humiliated, egg all over his face, and that egg cost more than it did 12 months ago because Donald Trump's tariffs are fucking insane. That's what we have right now. And so what would have happened if James Comey went the way of a law firm, went the way of a Columbia University, went the way of a big bank and said, oh, Donald, you're so big and tough. It wouldn't have worked. Would he be in jail right now? No, James Comey's like, this is not a tough guy. Donald Trump, I will make you my bitch, and he did. And Karoline Leavitt, I will drink your tears. I don't think that's exactly what James Comey said. In my mind, is it? Yes. Is that how we should approach this administration? 100%. I don't know why we wouldn't take any other approach. What I am now calling the Eric Swalwell approach to future justice, which is save your phone records, save your emails, save your calls, save your text, anything you've written down, because we know you broke the law and we're coming for you. We're not backing down. There will be justice. There will be accountability. We will not bend to your whims, Donald Trump. We will not let Karoline Leavitt lie her way out of this one. It's not going to happen. We have to keep hitting back like Ruben Gallego did right here.
This is fucking insane. We should all point out how fucking insane this is. Hey, this is Ruben Gallego. I'm traveling through Arizona right now, and I just received the news that the Department of Defense is starting an investigation against my seatmate, Mark Kelly. This is fucking insane. We should all point out how fucking insane this is. And, you know, these guys are trying to say that they're not acting like fascists, they're not trying to give as much power to this president as a king, and they should stop acting like it. Mark Kelly's a patriot. There's no reason why they're going after him. He was doing his duty and just reminding people about their rights as service members. And, you know, Secretary Hegseth, all these guys, fuck you guys. You're not going to be able to scare us. We have a right to defend the Constitution of the United States. We have a right to tell other service members that they have a right to ignore illegal orders, and you're not going to be able to intimidate us.
Call them out. Just like that, all the time. If they are going to be flooding the zone with their lies, we have to be flooding the zone with the truth. And the truth is on our side. And I know that because I don't just have to play a video of Ruben Gallego to make that case. I can also play a clip of Rand Paul calling out Donald Trump's threats against Democrats in Congress and this disgusting and idiotic anti-war lie that he's been telling through his entire campaign and this entire term, which Rand Paul is calling out.
If the Coast Guard tomorrow started shooting all vessels that are off of Miami or off of San Diego, about 1 in 4 of the vessels that they normally board doesn't have drugs. So it actually would be unlawful if the Coast Guard started blowing up boats. But for some reason they say, oh, we're at war off the coast of Venezuela, and so it's a different rule of engagement. It's one of war. But you know, Senator Kaine and I brought this up, and we said if it's war, let's declare it as war. Let's have this discussion. Is it war or not? And the administration refused that. They want to have it both ways. They want to say, oh, we can just say these people are terrorists or narco-terrorists, so we can blow them up. But it's extraordinary that when some of them survive, they pluck them out of the water. They don't prosecute them for drugs. They don't collect drugs. They don't tell us if they were armed or not. They just send them back to their country, most of the time not being Venezuela. They've sent one back to Colombia and one back to Ecuador, but nobody's making any pretense of even interviewing them to find out who's selling you the drugs. Maybe we could find out who the kingpins are if they're involved in the drug trade.
If Rand Paul can point out the truth, every single Democrat should be able to as well. And we are going to on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. You can tell me that you laughed at Karoline Leavitt in the comments as well. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.